Good day. It is Monday, August 12th, 2019. Thank you for joining us here on YouTube. Today we're going to talk about the most powerful trading concept on Earth, period. We aren't kidding. We hope you'll listen to the rest of this or watch the rest of this video so you'll begin to understand it if you don't already. Maybe you do. We believe that less than 1% of all traders understand this very, very important concept, and it is simply stated: external follows internal. This is an organizing principle of our universe into which we've been born. It's just, let me just launch into some examples of external following internal. Exhaling follows inhaling. A sneeze follows an irritation of the nasal passages. An illness develops from the proliferation of an ingested virus. A volcano results as a consequence of the buildup of gases under the surface of the planet. A tsunami occurs following as a result of a powerful earthquake. Even our birth, yours and mine, followed our mother's pregnancies. So here is the point when it comes to trading, and it is just simply this: when we observe the internal, we can then anticipate accurately the external manifestation. Full stop. There's no more powerful trading axiom in existence than that, because when we observe the internal process developing, we can anticipate the external. In the market, perhaps the very best example of the internal is the advances, the net advances or net declines at any given time. Net breadth. The best measure, we think, of net breadth is the McClellan oscillator. We use the McClellan oscillator and the McClellan summation index for both the New York and the NASDAQ. In fact, those four things I just mentioned are four of the 7 sentinels that we use to define the line of least resistance in the market. We've written a lot of articles about this. And below, we have lined up examples over the last 89 years of how this has provided a powerful, very powerful tool for traders who understood the concept. In October of 1929, when the McClellan oscillator reached minus 63 and the Dow Jones Industrial Average was at its low, this concept told us that since the McClellan oscillator is the advanced declines, and since it precedes price, which is the external, the markets would go lower. At the point here where the oscillator reaches minus 73, had we then surmised that the market had to go lower and been short at that point, we would have sat through a decline in the market from Dow 322 to Dow 260 in just the next 5 or 6 days. Let's go up to October 1987. Same thing again, also October, coincidentally or not, depending on how you look at it, as the market came down to Dow Jones 2470 in early October. The McClellan oscillator got down to a minus 65. They're both at their lows at that point. We know there's been no non-confirmation. We know that the McClellan oscillator is telling us markets have to go lower. It's axiomatic, it's inevitable, and in fact they collapsed down to as low as about 1620 just a few days later. September 2000, as we were just starting down off the top in 2000, we reached a point where the McClellan oscillator was minus 50. The Standard & Poor's was at its low so far for that move, and we knew that since the McClellan oscillator precedes the Standard & Poor's 500, the Standard & Poor's 500 has to go lower. By definition, it's inevitable, and in fact, boom, they collapsed. Move forward to July of 2007. As the McClellan oscillator came down to minus 105 at that point, the market S&P was at its low, but there had been no non-confirmations yet, and we knew then, because internal precedes external, that the Standard & Poor's had to go lower. It was inevitable. If we had been short through here or even went short here, this is the move that followed. Now we go to October of 2007, same thing. McClellan oscillator comes down to a minus 58, Standard & Poor's comes down to about 1502, and again, because the McClellan leads, the market has to go lower. And it did, considerably lower. In fact, as you know, over the next 18 months, it went 60% lower, lost about 1,000 points. Now, let's pop all the way up to February of 2018, coming off of the January 2018 top. You remember this move in late January, especially early February. The McClellan oscillator comes down to minus 120, and the Standard & Poor's comes down to 2644. Since this McClellan oscillator has not had a non-confirmation, it's telling us that the Standard & Poor's has to go lower. It's inevitable, and boom, it surely did. October 2018, same setup again, new low in the McClellan, confirmed by the Standard & Poor's, no non-confirmations. McClellan's telling us the Standard & Poor's has to go lower. It's inevitable, and it did. Now, here's the important part. What is this telling us about right now? We wrote this article yesterday before this 400-point decline that we've got going in the market right now. And as we said then, since the McClellan oscillator came down to a minus 80, and that was coincident with the low in the Standard & Poor's so far for this move of 2844, no non-confirmations yet. It is inevitable, it is axiomatic that we have to see a new low in the Standard & Poor's below 2844. We were short, we are short, and we are profiting by our knowledge that external follows internal, most important trading concept on this planet. So that's what we wanted to talk about briefly today. We won't prolong this YouTube video. You've got other things to do, we're sure, but we hope that you will, at your leisure, come by the Seven Sentinels website, take a look at the articles here. The article from which this video recording was taken and made and turned into a YouTube video will be posted here. You can go through and read it at your own leisure. Read it slowly and understand it carefully. Take the time to understand it. There's a whole lot of articles here at the bottom of the page that are free for the reading. Also, limited time trial for $14.95. You can have everything that's on sevensentinels.com all day long. All of our trades, all of our signals, all of our nightly articles, all of our weekly overview articles, all of these articles about Red Sky in the Morning and When Worlds Collide and Meet the New Boss, same as the old boss, and Rainmaker, and so on. Those are just examples of the articles we write nightly and weekly here at Seven Sentinels. It all can be yours for just for a trial period of a week. for just $14.95. So we hope you'll do that. And for now, we just want to thank you again for coming by and watching this video, and we want to wish you good trading.